a show here. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, it's just nice to be seen in another venue that I haven't been to before, so I really did enjoy having this go up. It also is up things that are pretty recent, and so they're representing more current pieces. And also I'd like to acknowledge the people from the Penelakut band whose lands we're on, her territories, and the Penelakut people. I don't know how they say Galiano. I tried. Couldn't figure out how it was pronounced, so I'm not going to try it. No. But I used to work with the Penelakut band when I was with the federal government, so I didn't realize that they had territories here. It's kind of neat to know. And of course, I'm from Zadeas, or Pender Island, and the territories of the Wasenic people. And let's see, what else? Okay, I need a little prompter, because otherwise... so earlier on, I was saying that my education started in Vancouver and Victoria at the Vancouver Art School before it became Emily Carr, and the short-lived Victoria Art School, which was run for 1 year by a fellow out of Ontario. And my 1 year in Victoria was absolutely fabulous. It was just such a wonderful year. I learned how to do all sorts of things. And then I promptly got married and had children and didn't do art until I was, let's see, I'm just going to say 2008. So by then I had retired, I traveled a little bit, and my kids are all gone. And I started painting as a distraction because other things were going on in my life. And it took me about 7 years of work to find my voice. And my voice is really social commentary. And also, I like to work out of my own head. I don't like sourcing. I don't like to use photos. I don't like to use real life. I'm not even somebody who likes to sit out in the environment and paint pictures of trees or anything. So it's all social commentary, pretty much. Even my abstracts are social commentary. And so whatever is, these ones here came out of COVID and my women's group and missing them. This was from a story. This was from the past, a memory. But they're all somehow based on my life and what's going on and who's in it. And sometimes it's very political. I did one in 2019, that was called 21st Century Fascism, and it was a tribute to Miro.
Miro.
Spanish artist who did very symbolic, abstract works.
I remember what he said. He said that rather than directly opposing fascism, he preferred to paint pictures of joy and hopes and enlivening people's spirit.
He made a few comments on fascism too at the time when he was in France. But basically, that affected him in the way that he couldn't go home.
Yeah.
I mean, he was stuck in France until Franco died.
Yeah.
So, and I really, really liked his work. So what we do as artists, we tend to share again what we admire. And so I did a few paintings that were symbolic like his were, and but different, obviously. So that's how that's gone over the years. So in my art practice, you were asking earlier, Mary Jo, I really try to get down and work 4 hours in my studio. If I go longer than that, I start getting backaches and knee aches and all that kind of thing. So, but I can also spend more time than that if I'm really excited by something. I've also done lots of other media like clay and metal. I did a very large metal sculpture for the Salt Spring Art Prize. Ended up in the parallel show. Heading for the Salt Spring Art Prize is a really good thing to do, to try and do something different and outside your realm of normal. So it was 7.5 feet tall by 3 feet wide, and it was this huge surface painted thing that I had a lot of fun with.
May I ask you something? You said when you're painting, it's generally about 4 hours, and then you physically get a bit tired.
Yeah, sometimes.
But unless you get really excited by something, what really excites you when you're painting?
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Okay, well, here's an example
That keeps you going.
Yeah, exactly. I do get it. So when I first started painting, I would call it ugly. Like, I don't want anyone to see it. The one that you saw by the desk there, I started as a demo at the Soup Fine Art Show. And honestly, it is so ugly, nobody wants to stop and ask anything or talk to you, really, because it's really ugly. So while I'm working, I see beauty starting to come out, or things that I want to see emerging. Mm-hmm. Because I don't even have all the ideas when I start. I start with some kind of nub of an idea, and then it grows and goes somewhere else. And so as that's happening, I'm encouraged to keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like these two here, those ones, it's called Flowers and Roots. It's a diptych. And that one took a long, long time to finish. All sorts of things occurred to me as I was going, all sorts of thinking about what was going on with my group and COVID and all of the things that were coming into it about, like, for example, it's about a book club, and it started with the three on the side, all white, and I'm looking at it, boy, it's a white book club. Why is it like that? You know, why is it a white book club? And then you start thinking about all of the other people and why are they not? These are friends of mine, so why are they not in the book club? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. And our roots, and that's played out in the patterns behind that are referencing patterns from that nationality and things like that. So it goes on until finally I feel like, okay, I think I've said enough now. Right? That one won an award of excellence at the Soup Fine Art Show as well, so I was happy with that. And so did the 21st Century Fascism, which was 4 feet by 8 feet, and not here because it sold. But yeah, that's what keeps me going in the studio, is just the change. Now the one behind the desk with all the stuff that's going on there, that one took me from July for the demo at Soup Fine Art Show until March the following year to finish, right?
Were you painting other works
I
at the
was
same
doing
time?
a lot of other stuff at the same time, but it needed that time to actually feel finished. Yeah, it took a long time. I actually, at that time, was also doing paintings for a book. So a friend of mine in LA, who is a poet, was putting a book out, and she asked me to do paintings in response to her poems. And so I'd already done one, but she wanted, a series that I could do before the book was published. So I got 4 paintings done. And I did those also while I was doing that. And I had done a previous painting of her and her book readings. Like, she belongs to all these groups that get together for poetry readings. And there was a quote long ago, maybe you'll know, Andrew. It was, I think, Dylan, or he was...
No.
He said something like, all poets are naked. And so I did this scene of a group of poetry people all listening to each other read, and they're all naked.
Oh.
So she used that for the book cover.
Oh, very nice. I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
So, you were talking about 21st century fascism. Well, one thing I've noticed is there's a tendency to conflate and confuse New Age ideas with something resembling fascism, so that propagandists will use conspiracy theories and other kinds of nastiness to scare us into something resembling fascism while we're supposedly liberating ourselves. Have you noticed that?
Well, I can tell you what mine was about.
Yeah.
And maybe you can decide for yourself whether I was correctly identifying anything too close to fascism.
Yeah.
So the painting was all about what was happening across the border and the federal government of the United States. It was basically Trump, what he has been promoting with women and what he's been promoting with migrants.
Yeah.
And to me, that spoke of fascism, and that's what the whole painting was about. I can show you the painting on my phone later.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was large, 4 feet by 8 feet, and this person who bought it has it in his dining room all the way across the wall.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can be alert to the danger of 21st century fascism unless they understand how New Age jargon can get conflated with fascist ideas through using the medium of conspiracy theories and getting us afraid of this and afraid of that. Oh, well.
Anyway, so what other topics was I going to...
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's about it. So, in terms of where I'm going now, because I don't have anything on the go, everything's all finished, I have 2 projects that I'm starting up. One of them is, it's about, I read a book recently called Art Without Men. I don't know if anybody's read it. Well, of course, the other one was History of Art Without Men.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, and she had read another book called The History of Art, and there was only one woman in the whole book. It was the history.
What was it, Artemisia Gentileschi?
I don't
usually
know.
the only one.
Yeah. So anyway, she decided, okay, well, I'm going to go and write a book, The History of Art Without Men. And it made me think, because I read it, of course, and it made me think of all the artists who have never really been given credit, and still aren't, for having done sort of groundbreaking things in the past.
Yeah, I can remember coming across Rachel Ruysch, Ruysch, a Dutch flower painter from the golden age of Dutch art.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know her, but I'll check it out because maybe it's in that book, and I should go back and there was just so many, and so many who were really groundbreaking, like Hilma Klint. I mean, just unbelievable, and not given credit for really doing what has been given the credit to Kandinsky.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to do a series of, you may not recognize it, it's like Pussy Riot, you know.
Yeah.
That painting isn't obvious in what I was thinking there. It was really a tribute to, the difficulties women have. And Pussy Riot was just one example, but all of the tickets represent each different woman and all the things that they have to put up with. Anyhow, so that's one, and they're going to be, let's say I've been to a show recently in Vancouver by a fellow who is Canadian from Iran, who did a retrospective there. I was so engrossed by his work that I'm a little bit inspired by him in my work too, and that's one of the reasons I did Pussy Riot the way I did. because I was inspired by his work. I really liked it. And so I'm going to continue that a bit, do a few more things like that. And I'm also doing an installation that is going to be based on how we are so caught up in the fashion industry, this fast fashion, and how destructive it can be. And also how it takes away, it's really taking away from the influence of culture on our way of being. Mm-hmm. You know, so everybody, you go to Japan, you go to Southeast Asia, you go to England, you go to Italy, everybody is wearing the same stuff. They get it from the same stores. You know, there's no sort of distinction in the way we express ourselves outwardly, as much as it used to be. Mm-hmm. And in that, you know, something that happened recently was because of that particular...
I think Andrew looks pretty distinct, doesn't
he? He does, yeah.
You understand what this is about, don't you?
No.
Red Dress Day. Today is
Is it Red Dress Day?
Today, yes.
Oh, I had no idea. I know
I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was today.
It's
today too.
Oh, whatever it is. Anyway, I did check up a week or so ago to find out when it actually was, so that I could.
And it's today.
It's today.
Oh, what's that all about?
Who knew?
It's in solidarity with our Indigenous people.
It's about murdered and missing women.
Oh.
Yeah. In solidarity with our missing sisters, specifically the Indigenous ones.
Good for you. I don't think I own a red dress. But.
I don't either. I borrowed this off somebody else. I went to the thrift store to see if I could find one, and I got one for $3, but it was a mini skirt. And then and then somebody lent me this thing, so I'm better off with it. It's more visible, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, going on with fashion, more than tributes at the moment,
Yeah.
but so I used my new installation as a way of looking for, they call it, residencies. I don't know if you've ever done an art residency. Well, I want to, and I haven't either. So I've applied for 4 now, 3 of which I didn't get. The fourth one, I used the installation as part of my proposal, and it was to do the final piece, because it's going to take me a year to do this installation, and it's to do the final piece of this installation in Japan. Mm-hmm. And I put the application in, and 4 days later, bingo, I'm going to Japan in May 2025 for a month.
That's great.
To do that. So I'm pretty excited about that. Mm-hmm. So those are my 2 big things right now, the painting series and the installation.
Oh, well done. That's great.
Yeah, it was exciting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They didn't ask for age. I think that had it.
Well, that's great, yeah, because I often think about that when I consider, applying for residencies, that they're going to look at.
I think you have to look pretty professional to get in.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, every time I've done it, I've gotten better and better at it. So this last one, I've joined a group called the Artwork Archive. I've just never been good at managing my pieces, putting them where I can access them easily, keeping all the information in one place, doing all that.
Yeah.
And when I applied for this, they always ask for 10 pieces. Well, you're shoving them into a folder and you send it off, and it's never all of the information in one place. So this one, I created a separate room for them. I put all the pieces in there, and this system allows you to choose what you want to put in about the piece, so you can put when it was made, well, how big it is, all of the information that they might want to know. And so when it opens up, it's like a website. It's beautiful, really high quality pictures, and all of the information right under each one. It's fabulous. So I think that made the difference.
Yeah. Well, and your artwork.
Well, I mean, it's displayed in a way that they can see it well. And I don't think opening one at a time and then trying to line it up with the information about that piece, hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe could you speak to...
Do you want to share how you, the written part of that?
written part,
Of your submission?
I don't think I have it.
No, I just meant how you did it.
Oh, well, you just have to respond to exactly what they ask for. You don't put any more or less. So if they say 1 page of the CD, you don't put any more than that.
Yeah.
If they want, they don't ask for your age, don't tell them.
Yeah.